Alright, so I'm Phil, and I'm originally from Massachusetts, so when I came to the South, there was a huge culture shock. And I wasn't used to things like fix and two and y'all, and especially not ready for the Southern hospitality, because everybody in the North is like really mean, standoffish. But I was certainly frightened when I found out that there was a lack of knowledge about skiing, which was actually my favorite pastime. So I've been skiing since I was like 4 years old. I'm 20 now, so it's been a while. So because it's so important in the North, and actually in a lot of places all over the world, I thought I'd tell you guys a little bit about skiing. And since I don't have enough time to tell you the intricacies of it, I thought I'd tell you about a few forms. I'm going to talk about cross-country skiing, resort skiing, downhill skiing, and off-piste downhill skiing. So to begin with, we've got cross-country skiing. I don't know if you know much about cross-country skiing, but typically you've got smaller skis, and it's unlike what anybody probably knows about skiing, as it's on a flat surface, and generally it's more like an endurance sport. Actually, it's in the Olympics as an endurance sport, so it's like long term and just like, you know, kind of like an aerobic, activity like running. Cross-country skiing can be done in a couple different ways. First of all, you can do resort cross-country skiing, which is like a safer way to do it, because it's on a resort, which is managed, has like ski patrol, so if you hurt yourself, they'll come and help you out. But it's not as exhilarating because you lose the thrill of danger and exploration. So then there's off-piste cross-country skiing, where you can go to a random snowfield or out into the wilderness, whatever you want to call it, and just start going at it. And I mean, you can do that for as long as you want. In fact, some people do, bring tents and they'll just camp out overnight and then continue the journey. And they just kind of want to explore things and just, work, their muscles. So then we've got resort downhill skiing, which is completely different from cross-country skiing, as it adds a slope. And the thing that's awesome about resort downhill skiing is that you can get lifts. So what happens is a company gets a mountain, and then they add lifts to it, and then they add like ski patrol stations, keep everybody safe. And so basically, people are able to go to the mountain and ski easily with multiple repetitions. So if you want to ski a lot of distance in one day, that's a perfect way to do it. So you can constantly be skiing, but unfortunately, unlike off-piste, which we'll talk about a little bit later, it's not as good of conditions. But the good thing about downhill resort skiing is that it allows the company to modify the mountain in a way that makes it easier or more difficult for people to ski. So it basically adds a different element to off-piste skiing, which is the original thing. So basically, what they can do is they can groom trails, add moguls. They can move some trees around, make a nice wooded trail, but safer than would typically be if they hadn't modified anything. So what happens is they can then label their trails green, blue, or black. Green being easy, blue being intermediate, and black being expert. So with that innovation, people are able to go onto a mountain, and if they're just starting skiing, they can easily ski on a green trail. Maybe if they're daring, maybe try blue. And as the years progress, or as you get more practice, you can do blue, like a harder blue, or a black trail, and maybe even venture off into the woods, which is not really marked. But like I said before, they're able to modify it so it's much safer. And if you get hurt, hopefully you're carrying a radio on you, and you can contact ski patrol, so they'll just come get you. But those things, those luxuries, are not found in off-piste skiing, which is probably the more exhilarating of all three types that I was talking about today. Off-piste skiing is much like resort downhill, where it is downhill skiing, but the main point of off-piste is to find ways to ski that are more exhilarating or better conditions, and not better conditions like being able to ski down a groomed slope with resort skiing or down moguls, because but typically it's more fun to ski in what we call powder. So that just, it's a more comfortable ride, it's a little bouncier, it's just a lot of fun. So if you want to do it, then there's a few options. First of all, you can hike, and that pretty much requires like special boots. Doesn't necessarily, but it's helpful. So what you can do is you can find some random mountain, some random slope, and just start climbing up, and then you can just ski down. And that's the problem with it, is that you have to climb up every time. So you don't ski as much, there's a lot more effort on your part, but kind of ends up being a little more fun because, you know, the dangers of, you know, no ski patrol, no modified trails. Then you can also do heli skiing, which is kind of a newer innovation. But basically what happens is you usually get in groups, you usually have a guide, but not always. What happens is they drop you off on top of a mountain somewhere, and you ski down. And then they pick you up at some point, and then you can do it again. And what's so awesome about that is that you get to go places where most people have never gone. Sometimes nobody's ever gone. And you get to experience things that, like I said, nobody else has done. So you get the best snow conditions and then all that danger. But also, there's another type, which is off-piste resort, where you can use a resort by using their lifts and then go out of bounds and then just ski down. But it's not as awesome as heli skiing because, you know, people have done it before. So, to wrap it up, skiing is really important because people all over the world do it. Like, if you go to Europe, like France, people are going to be doing it over there, people are going to be talking about it. So being informed is really important because eventually you're going to get in a conversation. If you don't know anything about it, you're just going to be like, oh, this guy, whatever, let's not talk to this guy. So, hopefully I've, you know, informed you a little bit about it, so maybe in the future it will be helpful. And also, maybe if you talk to a friend one day, you can stimulate an interest. Thanks.